No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food, like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey. Live from the pit in John's basement. It's another episode of Fat Guys with Smokers. Happy Halloween, everybody. This episode comes out on Halloween, and we have some new toys to play with. So this could be a crap show, or it could be really fun. We're pretty excited. John has done a lot of research on all the stuff that I don't understand. And so now we've got some sounds that we can use.
Mike says that we just spent 45 minutes screwing around listening to all sorts of sounds to add to the show.
People are so funny. Like, who comes up with this stuff?
We've only got 5, but let's just say
it's bacon!
This is one of them that you may hear quite frequently now on the show.
I freaking love it.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed the name of the sound.
Mm-mm.
I think of this as
it's bacon!
Bacon strips dog treats.
Right, yeah. That's what it's from, right?
It's from a Baconator commercial for Wendy's.
Oh, are you serious? Holy cow. I stand corrected.
Son
Dogs
of a Baconator.
don't know it's not bacon. It's bacon! Huh. Well, I mean, I guess you can't really own the phrase, it's bacon. Speaking of bacon, what have you been cooking, John?
It's bacon!
I don't know if I want to talk about bacon. We had breakfast for dinner the other night.
Uh-huh.
And then Clay got sick.
Oh, no.
And he had eaten a lot of bacon.
Oh.
Luckily, I saw it, but Haley did the cleanup. We've got an agreement in our
remember
marriage.
you talking about this.
I deal with blood and bones, and Haley does all the other fluids.
Ugh.
And I may or may not have passed out one time when the kids were hurling.
Are you serious?
Well, it was like, the Vega effect or whatever, when you stand up too fast and you get real dizzy.
Uh-huh.
It was the middle of the night. Rob is a champion puker, let me tell you.
Uh-huh.
He gets up, he's in the bathroom hurling. Haley jumps up, goes running in there. And I got up trying to be the supportive dad and husband. Like, I'm not just going to be the bum that lays in bed.
Right.
I got there, and I was standing in the hall looking into the bathroom. And Rob's over the toilet. And next thing I remember, I'm laying on the floor, and Haley is standing over me screaming, "Cha!"
You just pieced out, huh?
Dude, I was gone. She's like, you just like slow folded on top of yourself down to the floor. And I'm laying there going, huh? So I now, without any guilt at all, stay in bed.
That's probably for the better for everybody.
Yeah. Huh. Haley's got a sick kid and a husband passed out on the floor.
Yeah. Like, thanks for all the support, John. That's funny.
I tried.
All right, so John had a bad experience with breakfast this week.
I did. I've got some pork shoulders I'm going to cook for Halloween.
Hey-o.
Yeah, there's a potluck with my partners. Their company's having a potluck, so I'm going to go crash it.
Oh, cool. Here's my question. I was thinking about this today. I've seen some things. Country-style ribs. Is just pork shoulder cut up into rib things, right?
I honestly have no idea what it is.
I think it is. I think they just take a pork shoulder and they cut it up into rib-like sections. So my question was, could you keep going, cut it into little niblets? Because I was thinking about this episode, and I was thinking about talking about like some appetizers and stuff that we could do for Halloween, maybe to hand out to people or a Halloween party or something. I just wondered if you could keep going and almost make like pork belly burn-in style size of pork shoulders. I don't know what you'd call them. Riblets? Country-style riblets?
Yeah,
Country-style
but
nugget?
riblets, I've always thought of riblets being, you know, on a spare rib, that little, like, flappy,
The flappy thing?
cartilaginous
Yeah.
bone thing that's in the end that you cut off when you do St. Louis. Those are riblets in my mind.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, could you cut them smaller?
I
And
don't see
could
why
that
not.
be good? Or because I mean, when we do party ribs, one of the things I like and one of the things I don't like is there's so much more flavor
Gotta
because you can
stand
get it
up and-
all the way around.
I'm like facing the wrong way at the table
No,
tonight.
that's fine. I like talking to your back.
I bet you do.
What was I saying?
I don't know, but we definitely need a hey-o.
That's true. Party ribs.
Party ribs.
So it's nice that you can get like flavor all the way around, but it's almost like a lot more rich because of all that extra flavor. And I wondered if you had country style ribs cut up into little nugget size things, if it would just be a little too overpowering. Like too much rub on such a small piece of meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know, but I do have an idea.
Okay.
We need like a list of sounds we need because we need like a breaking news sound right now.
Oh, that would be good. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. So think about party ribs.
Yeah.
And I did confirm with the great Google that country ribs are just a cut up pork shoulder.
Okay.
What if you did like you took a pork shoulder and you cut it into like 10 or 12 chunks.
Okay.
So bigger than country ribs.
Country ribs.
But I'm thinking like a baseball size.
Okay.
And you smoked those, and then you had like individual shredded porks.
Interesting.
Like
the people shred themselves?
like you make a sandwich
Yeah.
and like you get your thing and you shred your own pork. Would that be fun or would that just be stupid?
I mean, I'm into it. It would be messy. You'd have to have gloves, right? Or could you just go...
I mean, my hope would be is that you could just like
It just kind of fall
squish
apart.
it and
Yeah.
it would come in pieces, or you use your forks or something.
I'd be down to try this. This is an interesting idea.
I think this finally proves a point of why Costco pork shoulders might be worth it.
Yeah.
Because
There
I
you
hate
go.
the boneless ones there.
Yeah, me too. But if we're just going to cut them up into smaller portions. I like this idea, and I feel like
If
you
you
would
could get
have a lot more flavor, for sure.
if
Maybe,
you could
hopefully
get
not too
pulled
much.
pork in 3 hours instead of 12.
Right, that's the other thing. Would you still have to... I mean, you shouldn't have to have like a long stall or anything with something that small, right?
You shouldn't. I mean, the stall is the magic time where
Right.
everything gets loose and falls apart. So a long stall is not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's part of the reason why party ribs are tougher is because they cook
Right.
faster. They've got less time to...
Right.
I think I know what we're doing this weekend, Mike.
I think we should try it. Seriously, I'm kind of interested in this.
I am too.
Let's see if it would work.
A reason to tune in next time.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't even remember what we were saying when we got on this topic, but I'm glad we did because I've got a lot of ideas. I do think that little nuggets would be too much. Be too much like, what's the word I'm looking for? Too rich, maybe? Like just way too much
It
flavor?
could be too salty.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
If
Because you don't, I mean, you can like go to town on a pork shoulder and there's so much there that when you
When you
shred it,
yeah.
it's beautifully balanced. But if it was too small, I think you could overdo it.
Yeah, I like it.
These are my thoughts. Okay.
Holy crap.
What?
Sorry. I just had to check the score.
Oh.
We're recording
Oh, shoot.
we're recording during during Game 4 of the World Series, and
my
the Yankees
gosh.
just put 5 runs on the board in the bottom of the 8th.
In the bottom of the 8th. Holy cow.
I was really hoping just for the Dodgers, just to sweep them.
Just to end it. Yeah. I'm not allowed to like the Yankees because my grandpa in World War II lost his paycheck because he bet them to win the World Series. But nobody knew that until he was like on his deathbed. And my aunt was like, "Why do you hate the Yankees so much?" It's like, World War II. Kind of funny. Huh.
I mean, I think there's plenty of reasons to hate the Yankees.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Anthony Rizzo fan from his time on the Cubs, and I lost a little bit of respect for him for how much fun he's having on the Yankees.
Right. He seems like a pretty good dude, though.
He seems super chill.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
Um,
I was not expecting that.
No kidding. It was kind of close when I came over here.
Yeah, it was 4-6.
Yeah. Well, we kind of thought this could go well and it could be a hot mess, but we kind of thought we'd talk a little bit about Halloween, being as how this is going to come out on Halloween, which, as we all know, is terrifying. And
No, I felt like the sound effect's loud enough.
crank it up, John. But I don't know. I love Halloween, and we've talked about all kinds of things. We've talked about like doing like some scary barbecue stories, most of which I feel like had to do with undercooked chicken and propane tanks exploding.
That's a little better. That's terrifying. I'm like a little nervous. I still have this propane tank that my wife really wants me to get rid of. I really want to cut it in half. But cutting a propane tank in half, that's freaking terrifying. Someone this year, like, the 2 guys ended up in the hospital.
Jeez.
Because you're supposed to, like, fill the tank with water because the propane's heavier than air, so you're trying to get something denser in there to push it out. And then a lot of people even cut them when they're full of water.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But
just to make sure that there's no gases that will
there's lots of
expand
sparks. I mean,
and
when
blow
I
up.
cut mine, I'll probably use a cutting torch because I don't have a plasma cutter. So that's fire in a really big tank.
Yeah.
Could go bang.
What could go wrong?
Oh man.
I totally forgot what I was gonna say, John.
Sorry. We could talk about scary stories. We could talk about lighting grills on fire.
Yeah. I was thinking more along the lines of like appetite. See, I think we talked about this once. My neighbors do donuts every Halloween. Your neighbors do scones, right? It's like a big thing. And I don't want to take away from I don't want to like steal their thunder, but I think it would be so cool to do something barbecue style. Last year I did I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I just did like jalapeno poppers or something. But it was almost awkward. We don't get as many trick-or-treaters as I thought we would because your guys' neighborhood's a little more fun, and ours is everybody goes to bed at 3 o'clock. So
it's weird. Some years, like, we just get tons and tons of kids. Even last year, though, like, the weather was fine. Like, it wasn't bad, like, but we had almost nobody come by.
Yeah, see, Whitney always buys way too much candy, and then we don't get a whole lot of people. And the people that we do get are, like, done by 6. I feel like when I was a kid, we used to be out all night trick-or-treating. But
Yeah, what's your favorite Halloween as a kid?
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember what I dressed up as. I was probably Dracula. I was Dracula for, like, 6 years.
Nice.
But we went trick-or-treating, and I was finally old enough to just go with my sister and not with my parents. And we went all over Rexburg, dude. We went to, like, all these different neighborhoods. I just remember being, like a pillowcase full of candy. Like, we put in the work. It was pretty epic.
Dude.
I don't even think I ate it, but it was, like, Ooh, so when my kids are like done walking around the block, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you're missing out on the best part.
Yeah, so I was in like 4th or 5th grade. And I went with my best friend. He lived in my backyard. Like, not in my backyard, but our backyard's connected. Let me clarify
My best
that.
friend lived in the shed in the backyard.
Anyways, Mitch and I, same thing. Like, our neighborhood, there was, let's see, it was like a big outer ring. And then there was my street, his street, then the other outer ring, and on the way out there were like 2 cul-de-sacs, I think. And we hit that entire neighborhood maybe twice.
Nice.
I mean, it was a big neighborhood. Like, it was probably like, I don't know, 50 or 60 houses on each street.
Oh, wow.
Like, so they were
It's a real
long.
deal.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
long streets. I said that I'm going to pull it up on Google Maps and count. It's
gonna
going to
be
be
really
like,
small.
it's going to be small.
See, that's why I
bet.
wonder, like, I'm like, we stayed out all night. If
But
we were
I
in bed
remember,
at like 8.
dude, we filled our pillowcases up twice. I remember coming home, dumping my pillowcase out on my room, putting tape on the door so I'd know if my sister went in,
That's awesome.
and going back out. And yeah, I mean, that was the best part. Like, you'd go out, and I had 2 pillowcases full of candy, and my whole bedroom floor I would cover in candy. And organize it in, like, all the Reese's over here.
Oh,
and
wow.
all the Tootsie Rolls over there. Take inventory of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, have you ever, like, traveled to get the good stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got some friends that they take their kids up on the hill where they give, like, full-size candy bars, and everybody's, like, competing with each other, so it's way awesome.
Do I want this to be a matter of public record?
Yes, I do.
I trick-or-treated Cliffside.
Nice. Wait a second, John. I'm trying to think of how old you were when you moved here. Like in college?
I was a freshman at Utah State,
Oh,
and my buddies,
gosh.
there were 3 of us. And I went with Heather and Ammon, and we went and we trick-or-treated the whole thing. Went to Stu's house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, did anyone send you away?
Like 1 or 2 houses, but for the most part, people were just like, okay, whatever. Like, we dressed up and we went out, and
Dude, my mom and dad, if you're over 12, my mom and dad will be like, no, keep walking, buddy. It's pretty intense. It was kind of a hard dose of reality as I grew up. But that's interesting.
yeah, I hadn't trick-or-treated much in high school. I mean, part of it was when we lived in New Hampshire, like, it was 500 yards between each house. Like, they were not close together.
Like, this is not fun.
But yeah, so I have done that before, where you go to that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So my my brother-in-law lives, like, right by the Pocatello Temple.
Okay.
And they've got people from all over the place that come to their neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Like, they've got 400 or 500 kids that come to their house every year.
Oh, wow.
But as a result, like, they buy cheap candy. Like,
Yeah.
they
Because
buy,
there's so many.
They buy the cheap stuff because they've got to buy so much of it.
Right.
Whereas I typically buy pretty good candy, I feel like.
See, people that do, like, the king-size candy bars and stuff, do they just buy as many, I mean, they just run out and then they're like, okay, we're done, do you think?
I don't
Or
know.
do they buy enough for everybody?
We did that when we first moved into the neighborhood. We were the full-size candy bar people. Mm-hmm. And I'd buy, like, 3 or 4 boxes from Costco.
Okay.
Or it was Sam's Club. Uh-huh. So I had, I don't know, 100, 200 candy bars. In, like, the big variety packs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then we started getting more and more kids because, like, oh, you're the candy bar house. So I started having 2 bowls. It was like, Oh, I know these kids. Good stuff.
We've got.
No idea who you are.
I think everybody's got that. We have the crappy bowl and the good bowl for people we know and people we don't. That's funny.
So, and now I go to Costco and buy a bag of the sugary like Skittles and Starburst Costco mix and a bag of the Hershey's Costco mix.
That's exactly what we did. Yeah, one of each of those. Today was our trunk or treat, and we had Laffy Taffy and Double Bubble.
I love Laffy Taffy.
Me too. However, a lot of Braces kids could not partake,
Lame.
which I never really thought about.
Lame.
I know. Imagine being able to afford orthodonture, you know?
I ate that stuff when I had braces.
Did you really?
Heck yeah.
I never had braces, so I can imagine, but...
My orthodontist's niece was my teacher. Mm-hmm. So I'd go in for my appointments and he'd be like, I got an interesting report from Mrs. Bond.
Oh.
Like, I hear you've been chewing on the Laffy Taffy. No wonder you're missing that bracket. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, Doc.
That's unfair. That's got to be a HIPAA violation or something.
This was in the 90s. It was before HIPAA.
HIPAA didn't exist. Oh, shoot.
Oh.
What else, John? I'm trying to think. I had an idea and then it left me. Listen. My life is a mess. All right.
Sorry, I just got an alert my battery's going to die, and I'm looking around for a
I
charge.
was like, what? It looked like you were onto something. I was like, is he going to say something?
I was
or
like,
just going to pull the plug on us.
if I pull this one, does the sound die? I don't think it does, but I don't think it's got enough juice. Will you grab it off the table?
You got to fill the dead air.
We're going to fill the dead air. So, greatest Halloween costume of all time.
Oh, there we go.
I think my greatest Halloween costume was, that one right there.
I don't actually know what I'm looking for.
And the cord that's on top of it. My mom made me a Reese's peanut butter cup costume.
Oh.
This is like back in the good old days of the 90s where this is why we don't get up during the show.
We're too big for the studio, all right?
It was made out of felt.
Oh, wow.
So she
This is
hand
legit
traced
stuff.
and cut all of the letters
Oh, my goodness.
for a package.
Bless your mother's heart.
I know. Now we've got crickets and Sizzix
Right.
and whatever that you can cut vinyl out and just slap that crap down.
Uh-huh. Is that what you did for the Mountain Dew costume?
Yeah, that's what Haley did.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I did nothing for the Mountain Dew costume. But
If you're unsure what we're talking about, was it Robbie? Or
yeah,
Clay?
it's Robbie.
Robbie went as a Mountain Dew machine.
He's
And
going
my
again
kids
this
were
year.
obsessed with it. They were like, dude, Robbie was a pop machine. And it looks pretty awesome. My favorite costume was when I was actually in high school. I was working at McDonald's. And we could dress up. Did it die or do we still have power?
No, we're good.
Okay.
That was the happy noise
I
saying
heard
we
a
have
noise
power.
and I didn't want to just be talking
Yeah.
to you. No
And the
offense.
vending machine is fully functional. He's got a little chute that he can drop stuff out
Oh,
of.
really? I didn't know that. That's dope.
He couldn't reach anything because his arms were too short. But
How'd
That
she
was-
come up with that idea? Did she design it or did she see it somewhere or what?
no, she's a freaking boss. She just made it up.
That's awesome.
So anyway, sorry, McDonald's.
I can't remember. Oh, yeah. I went as a kissing booth. It was pretty awesome. It's got a box, had a little curtain, went like this. I ran into a guy's mother the other day that I worked at McDonald's with.
I thought this was going a totally different
Oh,
direction.
my bad. This is that was 20-something years ago. Gone.
Just go ahead, tell
That was 20 years ago. And she still remembers coming in to visit us at McDonald's. Oh, did it die?
No, we just got to the end of the
And I was dressed up as a kissing booth. Anyway, it was pretty funny. I was just back. I wasn't like working up front where people saw me, so it just got kind of annoying because I was in the back bumping into everybody. But it was just a box, had a little curtain, said kisses $1 or whatever. Anyway, that's been my favorite one that I made. But I always have these ideas.
Sounds like it would be my favorite too. You make some money that night?
I didn't get any, honestly. But my problem is I always have these ideas, but unlike Haley, my execution is faulty because I don't plan ahead very well. So usually this is something that I'm trying to put together October 31st at 4 p.m.
Haley doesn't listen to the podcast anymore, so I can say whatever I want now.
Oh, shoot.
It's not because Haley is a great planner. But she was raised by a guy that ran a body shop.
Okay.
So her need for perfection is like on another level.
I didn't know her dad ran a body shop.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, why do you think the paint in this room looks so good? I was not allowed to I'm not allowed to touch a paintbrush in my own house, Mike.
Dude, that is an honor. I hate painting. That's awesome.
But when she decides she's going to do something, she's going to do it. She's incredibly tenacious. But the need for perfectionism means that on the 30th, she's up till like 3 o'clock in the morning trying to get it just right and just perfect.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, it's green. Just get a marker and write Mountain Dew on it. You'll be fine.
See, that's kind of what my kissing. It was literally a box. I don't even think I colored it, and it just said "kisses $1." But I was pretty proud of it. I think it turned out pretty cool. I also went as an outhouse one year. Same idea, but there was a door and you opened it, and I put like a pair of pants.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
some shoes or whatever. So when they opened it, it looked like I was sitting on the crapper. It was actually pretty cool. I forgot all about that until right this second.
That's awesome.
I wonder if there's a picture of that. Probably not. You make any of your own good costumes?
Nope. Haley made crayon costumes.
Oh.
Similar idea. We
Yeah.
had cut Crayola out of felt and put it on these like tubes that we sewed out of felt.
Okay.
She did it for my whole work team, and we were all different colored crayons.
Haley did all of them? Mm-hmm. Good heavens.
She's a boss, dude.
Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. I went as Jack Kevorkian. Do you know who Jack Kevorkian is?
Is he the suicide doctor
Yeah,
or whatever?
Dr. Death. I went as Jack Kevorkian for like 8 years in a row. I just put on scrubs. I eventually upgraded it to have like a white medical coat that I like stained with red dye in a bunch of spots. But so I guess I made that costume, but
Nice. We've got a teacher at work that loves group costumes, but none of us are willing to put in a lot of time. And so we'll just pay her, and she makes us T-shirts every year. This year we're going as Stanley mugs.
nice.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a cool idea. So
Yeah, I'm just not a big Halloween fan.
yeah,
I think this goes back to like I hate people that think they're funny just by being stupid, which I largely think is what Halloween has turned into.
yeah.
It's just an excuse for people to act like idiots and think they get away with it.
No, that's a good call.
So I'm not big into it. But man, I've worked with some people that have put in like 20 hours into decorating whole departments of buildings.
Yeah,
I mean, just some insane things. Like they did an all-out like Stranger Things forest.
oh wow. Like the upside down?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Know some people that are building a Mario world, like a Super Mario world, in the office,
Oh wow.
and have saw pictures of it that they've got like boxes hanging from the ceiling that you can like jump and
with your
hit,
fist.
and they're putting candy in it day of, so when you hit it, the candy will like get knocked out
That's
the
a
top.
way cool idea.
Yeah. It's
like it.
wild. I'm not that person.
Yeah. See, I love Halloween, but my execution's faulty. I'm just not willing to put in the time, I guess.
man.
So maybe I don't love it enough.
I'm already thinking about like Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That's all I care about.
that's true. What about, have you ever done anything cool with your house on Halloween? Like, some people do like spook alleys and stuff.
No, I mean I've got lights.
Oh, that's
We've
true.
got
You do have
I've
lights.
got permanent lights, so I just turn them on. They're what are they? Green, orange, and purple right now.
Okay. I had Grandpa Kevin hook me up with a rotisserie grill motor that he got when he was first married, and I rigged it up to a bunch of bicycle rims, like that I put up in the air, and then put a. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. So, I put like in 4 corners of my yard. I've got like a post going up, like 10 feet or so, and then at the top there's a bicycle rim, and then I ran like 30-pound test fishing line around it, and then hooked like some ghosts to it, and the rotisserie motor like spun them, so it looked like they're floating around the yard.
Oh, that's cool.
It was actually super cool, but it was a heck of a lot of work, and I just haven't had the time to set it up this year or anything.
Why have we not talked about this rotisserie? Do you still have the rotisserie motor?
Oh yeah.
How big
sure
of a
do.
motor is it?
I don't know. It's pretty big. It's a good size.
Will it turn a 150-pound pig on a spit?
I doubt it. I don't think it's that big. Maybe if it was supported enough, it would just spin it, but I don't know that it would. Because, I mean, even like this, if I
just
pulled the string too tight, the motor would be like, wouldn't be able to keep up with it, you know?
We should still look at it.
Okay.
I'm just thinking for the pig spit,
Yeah. I do have it.
that could be a potential. How
Okay.
have we never talked about this before?
I just thought of it. I don't know. I need to talk more about this stuff. But that was probably the coolest setup I've ever had. One year, I built a zip line, and I bought this creepy doll that went down the zip line and scared the crap out of people. It was pretty good. But it was COVID years, so we didn't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, so it wasn't as cool.
COVID kind of changed the world.
It really
on
did.
Stuff like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see how it all comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back around.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else on Halloween, John?
I will say the one thing I do love about Halloween is it like gets everyone in the neighborhood out and going and knocking on each other's doors.
It's a very good point. That's like one of the only times that we all see each other outside, not at church or a school function or anything like that, but just out in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I like genuinely kind of miss interactions with neighbors because I feel like we're so busy now and like nobody's ever got time to stop
Right.
and everyone's like so wrapped up in their own lives, which is fine. Like I'm not
Yeah, I'm right there with
I'm
them,
not saying
for
people
sure.
are bad, but I wish we did more things where like we just walked around and like talked to our neighbors.
Yeah. And it wasn't weird, and it's just, yeah, and it wasn't forced. It was just, that's a really good point.
I kind of just want to start taking cookies to people and just being like, no reason.
I just missed you.
I just don't know who you are, so I thought I'd come say hi, and it seemed less weird to have cookies, but I know if you brought cookies to my house, I'd throw them away because I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So eat one in front of me.
But these are safe, so eat it right now.
Maybe I'll just start bringing a box of Twinkies.
There you go. Individually wrapped, store-bought. I feel like that's what you have to do in schools now.
I had the best interaction with some random guy at
Okay.
Costco. We were both doing the like drudge through Costco, pushing the cart. Wives are putting stuff in the cart.
Right.
How much more do we need to get? When can we go home? He walks by the Twinkies ahead of me and goes, I think we need Twinkies. We should really get some Twinkies. And I'm being a smart ass at this point and yell out, yeah, I think you're probably right. I support the Twinkies. So he and I start talking. He goes, Yeah, but I can only eat one of them at a time. It just like makes me feel so disgusting. And like he's a bigger guy. I'm like, well, now I feel bad. You said Twinkies, and all I could think was deep fried. He's like, where'd you grow up? The South? And I was like, yeah, we call it God's country because all good things come from there. But it was hilarious.
Do you batter deep fried Twinkies?
Oh, yeah, buddy.
I've never had a deep fried Twinkie.
So think of
But
the
a
same...
Twinkie itself is kind of exhausting to eat.
Oh, man. So you've had funnel cake before.
Uh-huh.
Take a Twinkie, dip it in funnel cake batter,
Okay.
throw it in the fryer.
Interesting.
Sprinkle it with powdered sugar,
Okay.
chocolate syrup, and stuff it in your fat face.
I feel like I could get down on that. Actually, sounds pretty good. I mean, I don't think I could eat more than one. I think I might need to take a nap after, but holy cow.
No, man. You've got deep fried Twinkies, deep fried Oreos.
Yeah, how do those work? Same way?
Same way. But there's something just like, you know how when you dunk an Oreo in milk, the cookie like becomes just like the soft, velvety, delicious cookie?
Yeah.
It does the same thing in the deep fryer.
Really? Okay. See, because I picture like a soft, almost like a fluffy, like breading, and then the hard cookie. And it doesn't seem appealing to me.
No,
it kind of just melts in your mouth, huh?
Yep. And then deep fried Snickers bars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude.
All the deep friedness.
I need to get a deep fryer.
And
Actually,
you know,
I don't need
of
to get
all
a
the
deep
places,
fryer.
I've got a deep fryer if you want to borrow one. You know where I had my first introduction to real fair food?
Huh.
The Wisconsin State Fair.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. That's awesome. I love Wisconsin. That's God's country.
We could go on road trips, Mike.
That would be so cool, dude.
We've got to figure out how to become independently wealthy so that we can do our
Yes.
podcast full time.
And just take time off work. Yeah.
I hate doing this because I feel like it's so obnoxious, but I'm comment below if you would donate if I put our Venmo account in
We
the
just put it out there. We'll start a GoFundMe. Let
my
Mike
gosh.
and John pursue their dream of not working and just barbecuing all
my
day,
gosh.
every day, and talking about it.
I know. All right, since we're talking about it, and then we can end the podcast. There's this new trend that I've noticed on wedding invitations
Okay.
that just drives me up the friggin' wall.
Interesting.
Instead of registering, people are just putting a Venmo.
Yes, I've noticed that too. You don't like that?
No.
See, I like it because then I don't have to go third party and just be like, here's some money.
Valid.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like the $50 I'm going to spend on a food processor or a set of plates or whatever it is, like, there's meaning behind that. Every time they use it, they're going to remember it.
No.
And if I just give them $40, it's going to be like, geez, all we got was $40 from John.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I hate it because I feel like I'm going to be judged because I'm cheap.
Interesting.
That, and I just really think I'm an old man at this point. Like,
This is kind of an old man rant. However, I think
totally,
it says more about you
I'm
that you
fully
want
middle-aged.
that you want them to think about you and stuff. My first thought was, how easy for me. Let's do this and never think about it again.
Oh, dude, I love it.
That's a good point.
We still use the plates that my best man gave me. Mm-hmm. Jeff Wegner, still one of my best friends to this day, gave me the plates that we still use every day. My knives came from one of my dad's bosses. Stefan gave us an awesome set of knives that I think about him every time I use those knives. So that's where I'm at.
Man, I need to be better because I don't know where anything. My parents gave us a KitchenAid. I remember that. I still use that. That's a good point, actually. Now I'm seeing it.
Well, I remember going like, holy crap. Like, Jeff's mom like gave us our silverware, and I was like, I know how much that costs. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap! Like, I'm not even her kid. I can't believe she would do that for me.
Right.
So,
That's cool.
but
All right, I see your point. I see your valid point.
that's where I'm at.
Plus, today's kids, again, I sound like an old man. I sound 100 years old. Today's dang kids, they're just going to blow all that and not spend it on stuff they need, and then,
No, they're gonna go on a honeymoon.
yeah, and come home and use plastic cutlery. And
Yeah, and I got news for you.
Nice.
The plastic cutlery, it's a great idea. You know you're rich when you can use paper plates and plastic
Right?
utensils for every meal.
Right. I think about that. Sometimes when Whitney's not home, I'm like, I'm not doing dishes. And I'm like, man, that costs a lot of money for disposable crap. Anyway. Well, this has been a weird episode, John, but I've kind of enjoyed it.
It's been so wild.
I feel like it's just been me and you talking.
The
and
meanderings of John and Mike.
yeah.
That's what we're going to title this.
This one is definitely, this is going to be hard to write show notes for because they were talking about, and then they talked about this, and then Mike got up in the middle and went and got a charger, about knocked everything over.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
Just- I'll play it again because you were talking. I don't think you even heard it.
Bacon!
it's bacon. I think those will be fun.
I did
We'll have
too.
to incorporate them. Well, weather's getting colder. Life's getting better. We need to start making chili so we can talk about it.
Oh my gosh, I know. I've that's on my list. I'm gonna take a brisket. This will be a good way to end it, so
Yeah.
people actually think we talk about barbecue on the show if they only catch the last 2 minutes.
Sure.
I'm gonna get a brisket. I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna turn the flat into pastrami.
Oh, cool. Split it before you cook it?
Split it before I cook it.
Okay.
So I'll just have a flat for pastrami, and then I'm gonna do over the top chili with the brisket point.
Okay. Interesting.
And I may throw in a turkey breast as well. So I've got pastrami and turkey breast for sandwich meat.
Yeah, that's delicious. How long would a flat last of pastrami in your family? Do you guys throw it down pretty fast?
Yeah, especially if my dad's around, like maybe a week,
Oh, really?
maybe. Especially since my grandpa's out of town.
Yeah.
If my grandpa was in town, we could put it down in 2 days without
Really?
him. I love pastrami.
Yeah. I've never made pastrami. I should.
Cat's
I
Deli
had a good
in New
time
York.
with the corned beef episode. I just have never done pastrami, so
Yeah.
Cool.
Pastrami.
neato gang.
So,
Well,
until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm John. That was so automatic. I didn't even think about that.
We're out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.